Hello, everyone. This is Crypto Talk from NBB, and I'm Vikas Singh. I'm the co-founder and CEO of BloqueLabs. We are an emerging tech product company. We are building an operating system for the next-gen creators. And today we have a very special guest today with us, and he's Ramalingam Subramanian. We'll call him Ram during the session, and he is heading right now the whole marketing for CoinDCX. If you are not living under the rock, then you must have heard about CoinDCX at least once or twice. So, hi Ram, how are you? Good morning.
Hi Vikas, great to be here. I'm doing fine. I hope you and your listeners are all doing good.
Yes, Ram, thanks. Like in the tough time, I think we all should just have like our blessings should go each and every corner to the world.
Definitely.
Okay, great. Ram, so without stealing the thunder from you, so I would really interested. Be interested in like your journey. First of all, how did you land into the magic money of the internet, and how was your journey, let's say, from your conventional to the crypto world? Like just give us a small sneak peek about that.
Sure. It's an interesting anecdote. I first came across Bitcoin in 2010-11. Okay. We were trying to solve a different AI/ML problem, and where we were using distributed networks to basically train our AI chatbot. That was what we were trying to do. And we had a problem of paying the distributed network, and that's where I first encountered Bitcoin and got to know about its various values. It was very nascent back then. There were a lot of questions that I also had, but I couldn't understand it. I couldn't gauge its importance back then. And then we moved on from one project to the other, and we did a lot of different things. In my journey, then I went ahead and worked with brands like Coca-Cola, Cipla. I started my own brand management marketing firm. And if I remember correctly, in 2019, somewhere in the mid, I got this call from Sumit Gupta, our founder, and we had a good chat on call. And then the next day I was at the office of CoinDCX, spent 4 to 5 hours there trying to understand what these guys are up to. And basically the next day I was a member of CoinDCX. That's how I entered this entire field. It's a fascinating field. Although I had heard about Bitcoin earlier, I had all those questions. After joining CoinDCX, I had a lot more answers. And the journey has been amazing. Unlearning a lot of things and learning a lot of new stuff.
Yes, absolutely. Like you absolutely hit the nail on its head. Like when you go from conventional to Bitcoin world or a blockchain world, so definitely this bridge requires unlearning a lot of stuff so that you can actually make some space for learning a lot of new stuff, right? So my second question would be like, were your original questions answered in the 4 or 5 hours like that you sit across with Sumit when you had I'm sure like you must be having very engrossing discussions about, okay, what's that and how's gonna happen like this?
So not all were answered in those 5 hours.
Okay.
In the initial 4 or 5 hours, answered a few questions, raised a lot more. But then
I'm sure.
You are all conditioned to think in a particular way, and you after some time start accepting the obvious rather than questioning and trying to understand the background and the reasons behind it. So these are common, right? These are common with everyone. Once you start exploring a new technology like blockchain, you start questioning the status quo, and that's how it evolved. But those initial 4 or 5 hours were a lot of learning for sure, trying to understand what do I don't know, right? So it was an interesting time.
Yes. So considering now that you took your journey from a conventional to Bitcoin world and or a crypto world, I would say. So I would want you to at least give me your, let's say, ballpark or like a overarching thought process, like what do you have what is your general opinion about these digital assets?
So honestly, see, the concept of money is what I have got to understand now. Um, the concept of value is something that so I had some understanding of value probably from the marketing angle of it. And I've also understood the value from a financial angle of it. Um, and that these are the two basic things that define what I understand about Bitcoin, right, or about crypto assets
Right.
in general.
Right.
I believe they are assets which are tradable. Okay. Um, because they are tradable, there is volatility. It's the nature of any asset that is traded
Yes.
anywhere.
Yes.
So hence there is volatility.
Yes. Yes.
But it's one of the solutions that has come up. So you would also know that making money or making value digital, right, has been attempted multiple times. Every time
Yes.
it failed. The one crucial point, which is the double spending problem, we have been able to
Yes.
solve that through Bitcoin and through various other assets.
Yes.
And truly today, we have a technology that allows us to scale internet further, right?
Yes.
And solve hundreds of problems that we had accepted to be a way of life, right? So this is what I believe. Bitcoin as an asset, as an investment class, all those is fine. But for me, Bitcoin is that that solution, right? That human civilization has come up, which is going to take it now to the next level. Like it's very close to what we did with a steam engine or electricity, right, or aviation. Yes. And that's where we are. We are at that precipice of solving hundreds of more problems.
True. I like that idea. I like the positioning of the like where we are today in the whole spectrum of the things, like where we are moving to. That's very good. Okay, so now coming back to your strength, like your strength. So who conceptualized the idea of try crypto, man? How did it brew? Like I think that became a really mass movement. I think even I use that hashtag and I'm a proponent. But how did that try crypto like born? Take us through the journey.
Sure. So see, as an organization, there are certain values that we imbibe, right? We don't want to tell people that there is X percentage gain, there is Y percentage gain, and hence you should go ahead. Yes. We don't want to tell people do this, do that, right? So a lot of different ideas came in while coining the term, right? So whole idea of buy this, buy that, or you need to be invested. So instead of doing all that, instead of saying that, instead of forcing people to do something, we wanted to allow people to make a choice, because we felt once you understand what we are talking about, the experience is just a coincidence, like it's just a resultant, right? You need to like you will be attracted to it, right? And only thing that you need to do today is try it once.
Yes.
It was that simple. The whole concept came from that, just two words: try crypto. It doesn't tell you to buy it, doesn't tell you to invest in it, doesn't tell you to spend money. It just tells you to give a chance to a new age asset class. And we were very confident, once you give a chance, once you make one small try, the crypto piece is so convincing that you will be going forward and doing everything else, like buying, investing, what not, everything else you'll be doing. But you just need to try it once. So our entire focus was on building that. It's just a set of brainstorming that happened at our office, and this whole term coined up, called try crypto.
That's very interesting. और वो सब तो ठीक है, लेकिन Bitcoin लिया क्या? ये कहाँ से आया? From where did this come now? Like, I really love the idea. I really love that ad. I think you just like, and the timing was amazing, because putting like, I think you overlapped two amazing interests of the nation. one which is already has a captivating audience, and the second one which is like captivating. It's again, as you said, like it's in the journey of that spectrum, like it is becoming captivating. I think the cross section was amazing. So what, और सब तो ठीक है लेकिन Bitcoin लिया क्या? How did that come?
So I'll be honest with you. We had more beautiful minds this time around versus Try Crypto. Again, the concept was very simple. We did not want to sell gains. We did not want to sell because honestly, that's not what the asset is all about, right? Because it is a tradable commodity today. You can see it on our exchanges.
Yes.
You can obviously make profits and losses. There are up times, there are down times. All that is part and parcel. So we did not want to harp on that fact. I did not want to sell something saying that, okay, Bitcoin mein aap itna paisa bana sakte ho, isliye aap aao.
Yes.
No. We wanted to say Bitcoin mein fundamentals hai. There is some concept there, and come for that. Everything else is incidental, right? That's a thought that has been ingrained in all of us here at CoinDCX, right? And something driven by Sumit and Neeraj all the way across, right? So with that thought, when we said like let's make a good campaign out there with which basically hits a couple of things. First, it talks about a new age asset class, okay, and it puts it with your mainstream.
Yes.
So if you see our first ad, people are talking about X, like palace hai, this hai, wo hai, and then we position this up with that. But with the twist, obviously, with humor, so that it strikes. Because we wanted people to ask this question.
Yes.
वो सब तो ठीक है, Bitcoin लिया गया, right? You also know, like there are layers in it. You notice that there's a woman asking a man, right?
Yes.
So there are two parts to it. The lady asking the man. So it's about questioning the standards. Like finance is considered traditionally a male-dominated, male dominion, and the female is asking this question. Also, when the female starts asking questions about investment, it is definitely a good choice, right? So a lot of different layers into it, but basic idea was put a question out there. We wanted to associate with Bitcoin for sure. Put a question out there, explain to people that yes, these are the things that you can do and you must be doing. You're doing good, but why don't you consider Bitcoin also, right? And that's the journey. Humor definitely, because that's what it works. Finance is very traditional, matlab suits and boots, but we wanted to bring in a different thought, because crypto is fun, right? You have dojis and you have shibus and you have people creating memes and so on and so forth. It's also fun. It's a different kind of an industry,
right?
And the leaders are also not your traditional leaders in the industry. So it's humor was but obvious, and yes, humor works really well from a marketing standpoint as well.
Yes. And I really like this idea in which you mentioned, like we asked that question because our history and our whole civilization has been shaped by asking very intriguing questions. Whether the sun or moon or earth, like whether they revolve, are they round, all these questions. So I think we are going in the journey where we are asking pressing questions and we are asking questions. And I think that's what we can fundamentally do. That's the right.
That starts conversations, right?
Yes.
That opens conversation, that opens more thought in the asset class. Like how much can you go and say buy, right?
Yes, absolutely.
That's what is more important. People see, I'm not sure and I'm pretty sure not because of what we have done, but if you can see over the last couple of weeks at least, I can see every day something around crypto in the news. Everyone, perhaps, like I don't think there is anyone in India who does not know about crypto right now. They may not know about the fundamentals, they may have hundreds of questions like I had back then, but that's where we want to be, right? Like we would provide the answers, but the journey starts from asking those questions.
Yes. And as you correctly mentioned, like people is not unaware, they have an opinion now, like whether they have formed an opinion because media has already either demonized it or presented it really, really well. So I think you're right. Okay, and coming back on that fact, I think CoinDCX also achieved a very amazing milestone on having 1 million downloads for CoinDCX Go app. I think that's also breaking down boundaries for accessing crypto, right? What can you actually just talk about briefly on that? How did CoinDCX Go came into the picture? Because I think, and again, backed by amazing efforts by you or the team or the whole CoinDCX, I think it has crashed that 1 million ceiling amazingly. So what do you have to say about CoinDCX Go's app?
Sure, sure. So, see, and I'll go back a few months, right? When the Supreme Court verdict came in, we wanted to then utilize that opportunity to spread crypto, and that's when the Try Crypto movement
Hmm.
came in.
Hmm.
So we realized there are a couple of challenges for us to actually scale Try Crypto. It's not that हमने movement चालू कर दिया and things will happen.
Mhm.
Um, we identified that we need good education first,
Yes.
right? And that's where the entire academy of ours, DCX Learn, came in. We also believe that we need to be compliant. We need to have safer methods for people to enter. We came up with frameworks. Recently, we revealed our 7M framework for tokens.
Yes.
And then we also believe that there needs to be a product which has to be simple for everyone to use,
Hmm.
right? We were not something that the average Indian or everyday person will be able to enter. Like there are too many things on CoinDCX.
Yes.
So we went back to the drawing board to create a new product,
Hmm.
right? Um, we did extensive testing. We did a lot of uh, different scenarios, different ideas. And I think in January 20 or 21st this year, we launched the product. 10 days later, the entire regulatory paper came out. But yeah, irrespective of all of that, I think in 3 months, the product has shown a lot of interest.
Hmm.
See, as we speak, we have definitely crossed, we are somewhere between 1.4, 1.5 million installs today, close to 1 million active users, right,
Wow.
on the product.
Hmm.
Uh, so uh, it's a good journey. We can see that people are liking the product, people are understanding, and they're able to figure out that this is a good way to enter into crypto. There is a lot more to do on the product. Our product teams are working uh, crazily on solving these problems, because we all believe that this is the time when we can come
Hmm.
and give that solution. As
Hmm.
people who are players in the industry, who have been there since a while, we feel that it is our responsibility to solve these problems.
True.
and
True.
and for the end customer, they don't, it's not that about blockchain or crypto, they don't know all about that, right? There is a lot of complexity behind that. But so we went through this. Like, I had this conversation with Neeraj a lot of times, and
Hmm.
we spoke about this, saying that parallel labs like an Uber or a Swiggy, and until they made it easier for people,
Hmm.
adoption is not possible.
Very good. Yes.
And hence our focus has been to make it simple. We'll
Hmm.
be pushing a lot more features onto this product, adding a lot more in in the product journey. But yeah, it's a great thing that in I think less than 3 months we have been, and with the craziness outside, we've been able to achieve something. And hopefully we'll
Hmm.
keep on growing on this.
Yeah, I think what I really liked about that the numbers is this, that it's a very it's a very interesting area where the attention is continuously being captured of young, and I don't know like what actually the age slots reveals as per your data, but I think it must be definitely young people, because this asset class was not there 10 years back when we go back, right? So this asset class, because is captured by the young people mostly, uh, and I'm very sure that the data must be skewed towards like the younger generation.
I'll give you some interesting tidbits
Wow.
also, right? So yes, there is a lot of interest by the younger audience, but we have also seen a large interest coming in from people in the age bracket of 35 to 45. Okay,
Hmm.
um,
Interesting.
they understand investment, they understand assets, they understand fundamentals, and they are coming into crypto not because of, so there are these tokens like that are out there, right, which attract. But I have seen this, and I have noticed, like, from our data, of the first purchase that happens, how many people are holding which kind of tokens.
Yes.
With all that data, we understand that people are investing very smartly. It's not that they're going behind a hype, or they're going behind some guy talking about something out there, and then people are investing because of that. It's not just happening that way. And because it's a 35 to 45 generation, and a significant amount, I wouldn't say they're a majority basket, but a significant amount of people from this age bracket are also entering, right? And again, it's not skewed towards male only. It's male and female who are entering this. They are realizing that this is an opportunity here for wealth creation. They understand the fundamentals. They are playing it like any other asset class, and that's something very, very welcoming for us.
Wow, very interesting. Very interesting. This is good information, because you mentioned it very important. Like, the first of all, it reveals like Indian, because let's say CoinDCX largely operate in India.
Product. The CoinDCX
Right.
is for India.
Yes. So it reveals the meticulousness of people, like when they are choosing what they are choosing. So, and by their decision, because let's say we have been in the industry, whether they choose this coin or that coin, we can talk, like we can tell a lot about the person's behavior, right? Because we understand whether the guy works in, like, want to go for the speculative asset. Of course, the whole market is speculative, but still there are like blue chip and the small cap kind of things. We can definitely define the this industry in that segment as well. Okay, now coming back to this impact of the current, let's say, the problem that we have in India, specifically to COVID. Now, how that actually has affected, or you can say, because to be very frank, I think there was a little bit of tension also, because when the cases spike, there have been a lot more moral responsibility came onto the exchanges, and not just you, across every exchanges, that they behave in a very, very responsive manner, at least when it comes to, let's say, withdrawing the money. So I would want your opinion on 2-3 points. Like, first would be like how the COVID actually, as per your business segment, how does it impacted your business? That I think I would want you to start there, and then I will ask further questions from this segment.
Sure. So see, COVID impacted in multiple ways. So in the first wave, we were a smaller organization, but because of the entire COVID thing and the price rise during that point, there was a huge surge in people entering crypto, and not just crypto, in any other asset class.
Yes.
People found that trading and making money, passive income, was something huge. So we were very definitely we were smaller than what we were today. And yes, we had COVID impact within the organization also. What hurt us at that time was providing service to customers at the same pace, right? It was definitely a new experience. People working remotely, people trying to like coordinate, work with each other. So it was an experience back then. By the time the second wave came in, obviously we all had a year by then working remotely. We understood how to handle situations and stuff. But during the second wave, again, there was a huge spike in search in terms of customers. Our app actually grew huge numbers during this period. So yes, again, we had the same kind of issues. But overall, I felt so some of our key people also got infected, and certain decisions were getting impacted. But overall, I felt within the organization, like what our team did for our employees, like we got a COVID insurance done. We had COVID vaccines sponsored by the organization. We had specific work from home allowances and guidelines for people, so that the journey was smooth. It's an interesting time where the markets are growing in such a way, and it demands huge commitment from the team. But pushing the team beyond a point also doesn't make sense, right? Because eventually everyone is suffering, right? And everyone is going through their own problems. So it becomes a kind of balancing act that we have to do. So yeah, it did have an impact. I wouldn't say that it had a direct impact, and thankfully we did not have any casualties or anything. But yes, mentally everyone gets drained out with all the news around, and also with near and dear ones. So it becomes a challenge. But overall, COVID, from a business standpoint, hasn't impacted us. We are still growing. Our numbers are good, and yeah, it could have been much better if there were no COVID across not just us but across the world. But yeah, there these are things which are beyond our control.
Right, right, absolutely, absolutely. And the second actually follow-up question was related to like how did the company or how did the ecosystem exchange as an ecosystem, because you fall into that community. So how did you guys responded like very responsively, I would say, like with responsibility on your shoulder, because COVID impacted actually the customers, because and everyone, as you mentioned correctly, because it's not something like it just happened in some specific part of India. It actually impacted everyone. So I think there was some tensions at that time, because I was like following Twitter and everyone, customers were agitated. Guys, you're not responding to me. Like how did the company actually handles that? Because I'm sure like you have to be internally, you also have to be empathetic with your customers. Like guys, they actually need money for so and so reasons, because this is not something that we can shut our eyes from that event. How did the company actually scale to that level that you rise to that their you can say expectations?
Sure. So see, in the first wave, what we did, we waived off all fees. We realized that there was going to be a challenge. So before that, we had a INR deposit withdrawal fee. Almost all exchanges were charging that. I'm not sure whether we were the first, but we were one of the people who decided to let go of all fees there. We made the entire process automated. We majority of our transactions even today go automated route. Like what we also realized was just having one or partner wasn't enough. So we added multiple partners. So even today, because there is a deposit issue going around across the community, CoinDCX is still able to serve because we have multiple partners, right? So de-risking, planning it out, these were the few things that we worked on. Although almost 70-80% things go automated, there are still things that have to go through the manual flow. Maybe because we are not a very standardized country, people make mistakes. If you put a IFSC code 0 or 1, things go wrong, right? Because we are a AML compliant company, we have to ensure that if you are putting money into our account, it has to come from a registered bank account. And when you withdraw the funds, it has to go to a registered bank account. So these things are mandatory. People make mistakes here. Sometimes the payment rails fail. Like just recently, we got to know there are a lot of different issues where people made a deposit or issued a withdrawal request, and the rails failed, and the money had to be reverted. Now, in crypto, it can be done immediately. But in traditional finance, it doesn't happen that way yet, right? So these are the problems we are actually trying to solve. 7 days, 10 days. And because, see, there are so many partners involved. I remember a particular month where everything was shut down. Even banks were shut down. And then when the money got stuck with the banks, we had no other way. Like we had to call them, we had to follow up with them. But even the banker said, boss, I can't do anything, right? The systems are stuck. There is no one operating it. So it was a situation where you expect things to be in order, and this is something that we can't explain to the customers. The customers need not know about this. We are supposed to solve it. But yeah, these are the problems. What we have also done over the last 2 months or so, and this is an interesting fact, we have actually doubled our capacity. Like we were around 130 odd people. Now we're around 270. With 130 people dedicated to ensuring the customer service is impeccable. We have to learn a lot. There is the scale at which we are growing, and the scale at which we are trying to grow our systems also. They both
Yes.
need to match. We need to be ahead of the curve.
Yep.
A lot of efforts are going there. We hope that as we scale, things will improve. Um, and yeah, I'm pretty sure withdrawal issues, deposit issues have become minimal right now. But we'll ensure that it goes to zero, right? And we don't want it's customers' money at the
Yep.
end of the day. It's their fund; they should be able to have it.
Yes. And on this point, I really want to actually let the listeners and the viewers know that first of all, cryptocurrency exchanges, I think they are the most sophisticated when it comes to being compliant to all these AML, FATCA, FEMA. There are multiple regulations right now. And why do I would say we as a fraternity or an industry try to remain compliant is this, let's say once the Indian government or regulations wants to come and have a dialogue with us, we can tell them that, boss, you can have each and every trade that get executed. You can actually, let's say, you can come back to the genesis of it. The genesis of it, like when the customer signed up on the platform. I think. I think I can be very proudly say that I know that all the exchanges are actually doing top notch and paying a lot more attention that every customer who is joining the platform has gone through a very critical or very specific set of compliance that they have to follow before even depositing, or even trade is like a very far thing, but at least even before depositing they go through a very very specific regiment like that they that make sure that the exchanges as a community are very very compliant. I think I really want to tell, I really want to let this thing be known to the outer world.
Yeah. See, compliance, I'll tell you, is expensive, right?
Yes.
It costs the exchanges, but the exchanges are ready to put in that kind of funds primarily because it's for the safety of the customers,
Yes.
and it's for the safety of their investments, for the safety of their investors,
Hmm.
and that's the whole premise. And at times this can create some friction, but
Yes.
I think that is something that is needed for the community at large.
Because it's a net positive for the whole ecosystem. Like, yes, there would always be some friction, we see that in and out on Twitter, but yes, it's a net positive. We also sometimes have to focus on the net positive. I think that's a very interesting fact. Okay, so I would want you to actually help me via this platform. Now my friends are there in, let's say, JP Morgan Chase and the companies, like I can't like I would say like they are sitting, or consider the viewers of the show are sitting in the, let's say, VPs positions, and they don't know about cryptocurrency. They are good, they are feeling good to invest in mutual funds, stocks, but they don't consider this as a hard asset. How would you actually, so can you pitch them like, okay, cryptocurrency is this, and you can compare one to one it with the, let's say, this segment of like in which you have been investing. Let's say they have been conventionally been investing into stocks and mutual fund, and you also come from the similar background. Like, you can convince a person, let's say you are convincing your alter ego now, 5 years, like you're convincing your 5 year older self that, boss, just invest in this and this is gonna be something. So how would you help them to actually make that comfortable leap of faith?
That's two words: try crypto. So, but
Interesting.
the whole idea is, see, what we suggest or what we talk to whenever we talk
Hmm.
to the so-called people in the corner offices is that, see, you are investing in various assets. Your goal is wealth creation.
Hmm.
There is a new age asset class built
Hmm.
on fundamentals,
Hmm.
uh, secured by a technology that is today considered the most secure technology out there,
Hmm.
uh, trusted by millions of people, billions of people, perhaps by
Hmm.
now across the world,
Hmm.
and it is completely open and transparent, right? That's the beauty of this asset class.
Hmm.
Year on year, it has shown growth, right? Um, Invest 1 to 5% of your portfolio
Hmm.
and do it today, do it tomorrow,
Hmm.
right? Do it whenever you want, but do it, right?
Yeah.
It's not going to change that I missed the bus
Hmm.
or this is too high today. Like, if someone was thinking about that in, I don't know, March, April, it's back at February and Jan's prices today, right? So it's not that uh, it's expensive and it's a wrong time to enter. It's always a good time to enter. Don't go berserk, don't go crazy. Invest 1 to 5%. Treat it like any other investment. Um, any kind of investment, any kind of asset that you look into, right? And I had written this entire article, I think in one of the newspapers a while back. See, assets, according to me, should have a couple of couple of qualities. Like it should be a growing asset. Like it should always show incremental growth year on year or slight in a longer term. It should be interoperable. Like I should be able to convert it into anything else, right? And it should be safe and secure, right? For someone to invest in it from a long term and forget it, right? In that sense. So here's one such asset class. You can compare it with any other piece. Invest cautiously. Don't go crazy about it, and try it out, right? That's at the end of the day. I started with the two words, try crypto. I ended with that. Just try.
I think it's a very well subtle pitch. You can always try crypto. We are not saying to go haywire into that, but you can always try crypto. I think it's gonna serve the purpose. And that was for my that segment, like which always want to, but they actually have gone through the negative demonized article of the media. I would come back to the media section of it now.
No, I just, before that, I'll just say try it with CoinDCX. I want to put my business. Try it with CoinDCX. It is simple, it is safe, and it's compliant. Easy for you to use.
Yes.
Please go ahead and try.
Sure. And now I really want to come back to this section, because this section again gets most of their input, let's say either through people like us. If they found us, they can actually pose questions to us and we can try them answering. But sometimes actually it's largely the media. So I really want to understand, like, I know for a fact that in Delhi, let's say I was there. Maybe I don't think that you were there at that time, but I think Neeraj and Sumit was there. We tried that one. We
I was there.
invited. You were there? Yeah.
I conducted it, right?
Oh, okay. Sorry. So
I were the host.
Host. Okay, I'm sorry. So you guys actually did a very fantastic job by inviting the industry. Let's say these good, you can say, people from like the media section, and we started actually helping them understand this thing more, so that they do not, rather than demonizing directly or outcasting this industry directly, they should actually try to act as a bridge. Ask those questions from us, get the answers, and keep bashing us until you get the right answers, but at least give the right information to the media. So how much are you satisfied right now, or largely, again, is it going in the net positive? And what exactly, like, those efforts have those efforts reap fruit for our industry?
Sure. So interesting that you brought that up. That was we had conceptualized it as Unwind 1, Unwind 2, and we were planning to do an Unwind 3 in Bangalore.
Yes.
Right? Before the entire pandemic set in. The whole idea during that point was there was people not having conversations, right? Once you start having a dialogue, we can discuss all points of view. But if you don't have a dialogue, there's no enlightenment, there's no awareness, right? So that was the whole idea when we started the entire series. Over the months, I would say, see, media or anyone else, right, comes from the same section of society, right? They're not someone extra outside, right? They are obviously from the same set of people who understand what crypto is, and it's our job as players in the community to educate, right? We started courses. What we also did, perhaps we haven't spoken about this, is we started courses for journalists. We tied up with Blockchain Council. We created certification programs, and we gave these things to various journalist friends of ours, so that, and not about talking about CoinDCX or the product or anything, but first understand what the concept is about. These are all good courses, not run by CoinDCX, run by third party, and reputed parties across the world. We gave them these courses so that they can understand what the concept is all about. And to be fair, I can see a lot of journalists today have understood the concept well. Okay, they are asking the right questions today. Um, they are there is a lot of enlightenment. The same thing that I went through a couple of years back, they have gone through.
Right.
And I can see the quality of conversations have definitely improved. Yes, there are stories out there, people, right? There are headlines, this and that, but I truly feel as we have more and more dialogues, uh, uh, platforms like this, like the one that we are having, as we have more and more such dialogues happening out there, may even if it is a small fraction, right? It should go happen, and it will help build the right narrative. I'm not saying positive or negative. I'm saying the building the right narrative is very important.
Amazing. For our media folks, I think we would definitely tag those the, let's say, courses which are available, so that you guys can take it up, and always keep coming back to the Twitter and reach out to us. We'll definitely try to have these dialogues more openly, right?
Sure.
So that's great, man. That's great. Again, I can see it as a net positive in the spectrum where we are going. Amazing. Okay, and now uh, I would ask you one question related to like your this education segment of it. I think last year you guys, I think once you raised fund, you actually dedicated around 13 million funds to just to ensure that we will like very like laser sharp focus would be just to educate masses, and that's it. I think that's what DCX Learn is all about, right? So can you just uh, help us like how that actually shape up, and how many people have been educated by that platform? What has been the impact? Maybe you might be having some like good anecdote on those point as well, like how has DCX unlearn learn unfolded?
Right, DCX unlearn is also a good thing, right?
Yeah.
Right. So, anyways, so DCX learn, we as I said, right, when the Supreme Court verdict came in, right, and there was a reason why. I'm not saying when RBI brought the entire circular, they were not completely wrong, right? They had certain intentions. Perhaps the way in which it panned out could be questioned, but the intentions weren't really wrong. Okay, they
Hmm,
wanted to protect the country,
absolutely.
wanted to protect the investors and their assets. And why did that all happen? Because there was not proper education back in the previous bull run. Like people were getting very much uh, I would say people were getting influenced by what was happening a lot outside
Hmm,
without really understanding the fundamentals,
yes.
right? And being in the market, we know there would be a bull run that will come again, right? And that time, we did not want it to happen the same way that it happened in the past, right?
Hmm,
Our intention was people should come in for the fundamentals, people should understand what they're doing, and they should learn what they're doing, and basis that is what they should be investing and basically making all the decisions, right? That was the whole idea, and that's where DCX Learn came in, right? Without education, if I'm just selling something, it's wrong, right?
absolutely.
That was the understanding, and that's when the whole concept came up. We started. We are a small organization, or we were a small organization back then. Uh, we said like let's do something that is the best in the interest of everyone. We created a website with all content. Trust me, we had three core people from the crypto space just working on that for almost 6 months, right?
Wow.
Preparing the content, preparing the quality of content that is there. We had people coming in from London School of Economics, right?
Hmm,
We had PhDs who have written blockchain reports for United Nations, right? We
interesting.
had these people writing for us,
Interesting.
preparing the content, because we did not. So we never felt that this is something that it's only ours. We had taken it up outside to the community. We had community participation. A lot of
Hmm,
people from the community wrote about stuff.
hmm,
Projects started providing education on this platform. Uh, we tied up with Blockchain Council. We tied up with different speakers. Right now, we started the video courses. where Abhimanyu from Inblocks has helped us with the education piece.
Yeah.
So we went all across. We got the best people to train, right? Um, because we don't sell courses, like we are not selling
Yeah.
or we are not registering anyone. It's a complete free for all.
Hmm.
We don't really track how many people are registered, because it's
Okay.
not a user base that we are saying. But
Mhm.
if you ask me how many people have been impacted,
Hmm.
uh, wherever I go, or wherever I talk on Twitter, on LinkedIn, everyone comes back and tells me like, I learned this on DCX Learn,
Wow.
right?
Interesting.
And this is something that I feel is the biggest impact.
Hmm.
We
Yes.
we did allocate a good amount of money, where a lot was on education, a lot was on community efforts,
Hmm.
through which we will spread the education, and a lot of work was done on that front. I'm very, very thankful for various influencers in our space who actually provided their voice and their support to us.
Very
So
interesting.
that's something that I'm always indebted to them, because but I also believe that the
Hmm.
reason they all participated is because as a community we all believe
Hmm.
that education is key
Yep.
for the community itself to grow.
True.
And yeah, that's something that, because we had the wherewithals to do it, we decided to go ahead and do it.
That's amazing. I think one takeaway is this: like once you, let's say, you might be, there has to be some gateway for this industry. Let's say the gateway become, let's say, CoinDCX Learn, or let's say somebody told me, hey, you can learn about this thing from here. But actually to build conviction about something, so that, let's say, what is the next logical step after knowing, let's say, once you graduate from CoinDCX Learn, what's the next step? Let's say try crypto is the next step.
Yeah.
But try crypto will become into, let's say, Bitcoin liya kya, then only and only once you build conviction. And conviction comes from when you have absorbed that information, like literally absorbed it. So I think that's a very good thing. I think this would be my last question for the day. And like, what does the future holds for us in terms of, let's say, when I say us, let's say Indian community, Indian ecosystem, Indian regulation, India as a whole, in the digital asset scope? What do you think?
uh,
Where are we
One,
heading?
future is bright, right?
Hmm.
It's going to be amazing.
Hmm.
uh, I can see, from the comments in the parliament, outside the parliament, even the recent news that has come up, the government is looking very positively at this.
Hmm.
And why not, right? There
Hmm.
is a lot of good things here. There is a strong need for regulation to keep the bad things out.
Yes.
um, but I find that going forward, digital assets will become very omnipresent.
Hmm.
Will be something that everyone wants to be associated with.
Hmm.
This is something that Neeraj told me a while back, right? One day Bitcoin will become a national reserve, right?
Yes. Very
And
interesting.
it is becoming for a few countries already,
Yes.
right? And that's when we will start seeing, like USDT, like gold, Bitcoin will become that national reserve. And India, with its strength of good minds, good engineers, good capital that's flowing in, we are. This is something that Sumit told me, right? We missed the first revolution because we did not have capital, we did not have the knowledge. We created the second revolution. We had the knowledge, but the capital was not ours. And today we are at the third revolution, and we are having the capital, we have the knowledge, we only need some support.
Yes.
Once that happens, we are in that zone of ruling this entire piece. One beautiful project from India is doing amazing, and we all know Matic, right? It's doing
Yeah. Yeah.
amazing globally, right?
It's
More
yes.
such projects like Matic can come up once we create that conducive atmosphere.
Yeah, true. And I think there are a lot more to discuss: COVID relief, Matic's, Sandeep's effort, I think. And I think there are, we would need another hour for discussing all those efforts, because I'm true fan of that work, because somebody has to roll up his sleeves to actually say that, let me take this situation head on. And whatever he has done, that has gone in the history. I think that would be something to, like, we will always discuss that event, I think. So, and just two things from your conversation, like from your last comment, I think Miami Mayor Francis Torres has actually started paying their their let's say whoever they're in the let's say you can say that small group, like where they pay, the government is paying money to their employee in bitcoins. That's one thing. So what you mentioned is actually has someone have actually started the ripple effect, and I think it will, those ripples will touch India soon. And second thing, I think the regulatory aspect which you just touched in the Indian context, the recent I think news, I will take your last comment on that. That was very promising, Ram. Like when the government says, hey, we have to form a new let's say small group which can actually redefine what exactly is happening. So what, I'll take your last comments there. I think that was very encouraging.
It's definitely an encouraging, it's a welcome move. What it actually showcases is the intent from the government. They are ready to have a dialogue. They're ready to rethink, right? And that's how progressive governments and progressive nations should be. They should not be saying that, okay, this is what I believe in and that's it. The government has actually showcased a very strong or built a very strong image by saying that yes, we might have made a mistake in the past, or we might not have considered everything, and hence we want to relook at it. And it's an amazing news, not just for the crypto community per se, right? It's an amazing news for India.
Yes,
it's an amazing news that will open a lot of possibilities. And
true.
it's now a responsibility for the crypto community to showcase a positive and a right impact to the government, right? Because they are ready to listen. It's now our responsibility to talk and explain to them what this thing is all about and why we all believe in it.
As James Clear used to say, that per word, intelligence per word should be, the density of that intelligence per word should be there, so that in lesser words we can actually help them to understand more. I think, Ram, on that note, we can conclude today's session. That was amazing to know like what CoinDCX is actually doing in the Indian ecosystem to take this industry forward with responsibility. It's more important that we also do our thing with more responsibility, because this industry would need more responsible shoulders going ahead, because we would need a lot of people to make this movement actually take its due destination where we really want to go. We want to become a country where the innovations are prolific, and people from the let's say ecosystem are actually taking the baton in the forward direction. So thank you, Ram. Thanks a lot. It was very, very interesting discussion.
Thank you so much, Vikas, and thank you for having me. Thank you for having this conversation. More such conversations will help the cause and help India become a very, very strong nation.
And I'm sure that this is not going to be just one of the conversation. I think we are going to have many more conversations on this part.
For sure.
Yeah. Thank you.